Hello, welcome back. So we're going to tackle this driver's side rocker and quarter and fake door. I call it a fake sliding door because they actually try to make it look like there's a door in there. So I just call it the fake door. So we're going to cut that out, get the inner and outer rockers. Got pieces over here. Here's our part of our fake door bottom. And this is our rocker that goes up to there. And we got our inner and outer rockers on the floor there. So I'm going to start. What I'm going to try to do is cut this. The floor is right about here. I'm going to try to just stay right on where the floor is. That way when I weld it back together to that seam, I don't have to worry about getting a real... I can keep a straighter panel because I'll have the floor to help support that. And I won't have to worry about getting behind it and planishing it. So hopefully it looks like we should have pretty decent floor material there. It looks pretty solid yet, but we'll see. Maybe not, see if we get lucky. But that's what I'm going to do first, and then I'm going to start tearing out this inner and outer rocker. So let me get it partially out of there, and I'll come back and kind of show you how everything goes together. Alright. Alright. I've got some of this cut out. And I just wanted to kind of give you a lesson on VW bus anatomy. So I drew a line across here to cut this out, so I stayed right at my floor level because I wanted to keep that, as I said before, it'll give me a good butt weld area and keep it strong. This will end up cleaning up all this rust with the laser cleaner. But here is all of the pieces. Kind of, I tried to put them together as if they were on the bus. So we've got our inner and center rocker. We have the rocker panel itself. We have our B-pillar right there. And we have our rear quarter section. Then we have what I call the fake door. Basically goes right in here. So, looking at that on the bus, here you can see the inner rocker, and here's our center rocker piece and how they're attached to the floor. There's this space in here, and this inner one comes across and it mounts to those cross members going across. So what we're trying to do as we take this apart is we're very, very carefully trying to get this separated from the floor without damaging the floor. And what I'm using is my air hammer. And I'm going very, very slowly with this. The air hammer can do a lot of damage. It don't take much to rip into your floor. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll end up taking the Sawzall or something, and I'll put slices through here. So I'm only taking a little bit out at a time. And I'll work it the best I can, but it's short little snaps, and maybe I'll come back when I get a couple of these and I'll film me taking a piece of that out of there, so you kind of get how delicate you need to be so you don't ruin everything. But we want to go through and get all that free so we don't destroy the floor, because the floor is actually very solid over here. So this rear quarter piece, let me get you guys set up like this. So you can kind of take it apart as we go. So here's our inner rocker is right here, and we got our center one, and that one gets sandwiched in between that inner and this outer and that corner piece like this. Here's where it mounts to the floor. On this end, we have our B-pillar that butts up to this long section of the outer rocker and part of the fake door. This here is that splash panel. Now it's shaped like this because it's just a patch panel, but from the factory it would have been all one piece with that big foot toe kick out on the inside. So that basically we're looking at just a patch that goes through here. Here's our inner and center rocker that sticks through that little bit. Like right here. So that's what we're trying to do. I don't know if this helps. You guys see how it goes together? I guess it depends on how bad your bus is, how rusted out it is. And hopefully this gives you somewhat of an idea of what we're trying to do. And you need to understand it because you don't want to take too much metal off when you're taking things apart. So there is a C-pillar in here and half of that is missing. I'll have to reconstruct that, and all it is like a support that comes down through there. This back splash panel, it'll have to get cut off somewhere in here, and I'll have to remake some of that, and I did that on the other side too. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna finish getting the rest of this all tore off, and then I'll come back and I'll kind of start placing the pieces in there so you can see how that actually is when it's going up on the bus. So I hope that helps some. We'll see you in a bit. Talk about a pain in the butt. This has not been an easy task, getting that out of there. What I finally came up with is I went up above and I spot welded, drilled out the spot welds for this center one. And that's getting that off. And then this inner is a little bit thinner, so that one is popping off pretty easy with the air chisel. Let's see if I can get you in there. So that's what I've been having to do, because I'll tell you right in here, this center one is a much thicker metal, and that was just messing up this floor way too much with the air hammer. So that was the route I had to go. Otherwise, so I got to go drill these out yet. I just can't get it. You can see where it's starting to rip the floor, and you sure don't want that. You know, we can have the holes for the spot welds. That's not so bad because we can weld them shut when we weld a new piece to the floor. But yeah, this just hasn't been a fun job. Even like getting it off of these pieces here, what I have to do is I just take the grinder and I just keep grinding until all the metal's gone on top of it. Do the best. You know, I've got these kind of cut out. They're kind of the same scenario. You got this piece of metal. The only way I'm going to get that off yet, like the other side, is I take the grinder and just sit and grind that metal down till it's thin. And so it's a very tedious job. Not fun. So just a tip. So I'm going to finish that up and then I'll start putting the pieces in. All right. Hello. At it again. So got the majority of everything off up there. Got my outriggers off. A little bit of the floor was crappy through here, so cut that out. Not too big of a deal. There's everything over here. Did have to do some frame rail patching on this side. This side was actually really bad. You can see how long of a patch I had to put in there. It was pretty crusty. Same with the inside here. Hopefully you can see what I did. But yeah, it was pretty bad. I didn't show that on the video for you, but I'll put a link on here for you and in the comments or the description showing you how I did the other side. I took a video of that particular one, so I'll link to that, and then you can see how I managed to patch that rail. What I'm going to do this morning, got the respirator, we're going to do some laser zapping, I like to call it zapping. So I'll let you watch a little bit of that, but I'm going to clean up this rust underneath here. That's the road I'm going to take. So I'll let you watch a little bit of that. Get my glasses and respirator. And then we got the zapper here. We'll zap with this. So, ready, set, zap. So that's how the zapping works. I'm going to continue to clean the rest of that up. Now wire brush it down and I can get some primer on there. All right, I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like when it's all zapped. Cool. Hello everyone. Got to keep working, don't we? So I've got all this cleaned up. I actually spent a good part of the day yesterday and I zapped the hole underneath of the floor here. And then I got some primer on it so it don't rust. Had to be done since I had the zapper out. Figured I'd take care of it. So now I'm going to start fitting our panels. So I've got our inner rocker up there, and I know it bumps onto this panel that comes here, so that gives me my location. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come inside here. Oh, let's see. I'm going to put marks where each of these things are. And what I'm doing that for is I want to take it off then, and I'm going to drill my holes for plug welds. Let's get out of here without bumping my head. Lord knows I've done that a million frickin' times. We got Tom here helping us out down below. So I've got that marked off. Let's pop this off again. Let's see. So we've got our marks. We know we'll drill our holes here. Let's go in there. Like that. So I'll end up taking the drill. I use almost, not quite 5/16 bit, but I'll drill all those out, and I'll grind and clean. What I'm also going to do right away, so we've got our inner rocker, and here's this center one again, which goes on like this. That'll end up getting spot welded to that piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark where I'm going to put my spot welds. And the reason I want to do that is because I'm going to grind and clean up our primer and paint on all the sides where the spot weld is going to go. We don't want paint and primer there. That'll give us not a very good spot weld. It's not like when you're MIG welding or whatever, where you can kind of get it hot and let it burn the paint away. With the resistance welding, it needs a good clean surface in between the two, so the weld will hold. So that's my reasoning for doing this. Like I said, then I'll go through now and I'll take a little grinding disc and I'll grind here. I'll grind on this side so I've got good contact with the, I'll grind here, and then I'll come over and I'll grind this side. That way I got a good clean surface. So once I do that, then I'll be mounting this guy back up there temporarily again. And I'm going to go drill holes in the floor where the floor is going to spot weld to this. And then I'll go up on the floor when that's on there, and I'll mark where all my spot welds are going to go, plug welds I should say in that case, and I'll clean that surface up in those spots. Same with the center one where that welds to the floor. I'll do the same thing there. Then I'll come back and start welding them. So that's where I'm at. I'll finish all that up and I'll get it up there, and then we'll come back and hope that I marked it all right. Cool. We'll see you in a while. Time to get something done. Too much messing around with this. We've got our pieces fit, all the holes drilled, everything ground off. We got our outriggers, plug weld holes drilled, ready to go on, everything ground in there. We've got our center rocker on there. So I'm going to start welding some of this. Just going to start by plug welding all this on here. Then I'm going to put this center one up and show you how the spot welder works to hold that in. That'll end up crawling inside the bus, and I'll weld that stuff up in there. So, helmet. Okay, that's all plug welded on. We're going to take Alright, we got that all plug welded on. Let's clean these up a little bit. We're going to put a little bit of primer on them, so when we put our center section on, it don't rust. Give it some protection. Like such. Better than not having any protection, that's for sure. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab our center rocker here. That's going to go up here. It's going to be flush here. Let's go get ourselves started over here. Where that goes like that. I don't know how well I'm going to get in here with my spot welder, or should I say the head piece. It's kind of nice on the other side, the lift wasn't in the way. And basically, we don't have any juice. Well, yeah, we do. What's going on here? There we go. Now we're cooking. That's how that works. It's got a pretty low duty cycle. So what, after 4 of them, I let it sit for a minute and I'll come back and do a few more and then finish up the rest. But essentially it makes it a lot easier than having to drill and plug weld all those. So I'm going to continue with what I was doing here. I'll get those all spot welded on, and I'm going to put my outriggers and jack supports in, and I'll plug weld those in. Then I'll come back and show you that finished product. Then we'll start fitting our rocker and our part of our fake door. All right.